Hey guys, I'm back for part two of this data-based instruction project vlog. Um, this vlog will be about the lesson plan that I have picked for my student, the reasoning behind why I picked it, how it went, and like any samples of stuff I used, any references I used, and things like that. So the lesson plan that I picked for this lesson or for this project was word problems for my student. The reasoning I picked this was I talked with my student's teacher and about what he needs help with and why he needs help with these things. And the reasoning he needed help with these things was that he's a very good reader, but he doesn't comprehend like he should. And so this exercise and this lesson will help him to comprehend, hopefully, what word problems are asking, and will help him be able to more accurately solve word problems. So at the beginning of this lesson, I gave the student kind of like an interview saying, what do you like about math? What do you not like about math? What do you feel that you're strong with, that you excel with in math? And what do you think you might need some more help on, or things like that. And so in the interview, he said that he did not like word problems, that they confused him, that there was just too many words, and I completely understood that because they can be confusing at times. They can be hard to negotiate, to navigate, and they're just kind of hard to figure out sometimes. So I was like, I completely get that. So after we talked about his answers on the sheet, I gave him a practice pre-assessment for him to complete, just so I could get a feel for where he is with the whole subject area. And I gave it to complete with no help from me, just for this, just so I can see exactly where he is with each problems. I think there was 6 problems total on the document, and there was at least about 2 operations per question. So some had just addition, some had addition and subtraction, some had multiplication, some had division. It just depended on the type that he had. And so after he finished going over the worksheet, I took the worksheet and I looked over it, but instead of just me grading it, I decided that it'd be most beneficial for us both to look at it. So I asked him to come sit by me, and we both went through the worksheet. And I asked him to like kind of walk me through his steps and explain like his thinking on the assignment. And so with each problem, we would go through it and he would explain what he thought the correct answer was and why, and then I would go back and be like, maybe this is how we should do it, this is how it should go. And so we got through that, and he seemed to understand it just a little bit more, but I could tell he didn't really understand where I was coming from on a lot of items. So after I got those problems answered with him, I got into the lesson. So the first thing that I introduced to him was the We Love Solving Word Problems sheet. I have it right here. I don't know if y'all can see that. Excuse the coffee stain on it too. So the L is for labels, like labeling important numbers, important information that we might need later in the question. O is for our thinking, which is writing down what we think is important and writing down like what the question is asking in a complete sentence that might be easier for him to understand. V is for visuals. that includes just like drawing out anything that could help him solve the problem better and really understand what the question is asking. And then equations for E, including any and all equations that are used in the process of filling out the problem. And so after we went over that, I asked if he had any more questions, and he really didn't. I would then get into the model part of the lesson. So for the model lead teach, the model part of the lesson would be me filling out a worksheet that I'm going to give to him as well. So these worksheets are called the word problem breakdown. This is it here. If you can see it, so this first section right here, it says, what is the question asking? And so this section right here pretty much just tells you, gives you an opportunity to write down what you think the problem is asking. And then this section here, it says important numbers. That's where they can write down what numbers they think are important in the question, and it could also go in there as well. And then what operation are you using? And they would circle one of the following, and then the keywords would be how they know that that is what it's asking for. And then down here, it's able to show your work. So you can show your work here and then write your answer in sentence form. So the first thing I did was I read a question out loud, just like I would be doing for him, and I showed him exactly how I wanted it to be done. So I wrote down what I thought the question was asking, what important numbers were being used, what operations were being used. I would show my work, and then I wrote my answer in sentence form. But that example I did show y'all was student work. And then I did the same thing. I just gave him the worksheet and I read a question off for him to answer as well. We did about 3 like that because there were 3 questions on the next worksheet that I thought would be it would be most beneficial for him to solve like that. The other one was solving word problems like a pro worksheet. And this is it here. So in this one, we really focus on visuals, which I think visuals are very good for students to be able to draw out in a word problem. So this one, it asks what the problem is asking again, asking you to either give important information or just write out what you think the problem is asking. It gives you an area for a visual model and then an area for like an equation as well, and then you can write your answer in sentence form as well. He did really well with this one, so I think he's more of a visual learner, so visually, like actually drawing out the problem really helped him a lot, as you could see. And then I haven't gotten to finish this part of the lesson because our time was up then, but the next step for my lesson plan will be to assess him on any information that he has learned so far. So for this, I'm going to be giving him a post-assessment on the word problems. It's going to be very similar, same format as the pre-assessment. But he is going to be able to have the solving word problems like a pro worksheet and the other worksheet as well with him. If that is able to help him out, I'll let him use those. So overall, I've seen significant improvements so far with him so far. So I'm hoping that this next part, this assessment part, will really show that he's been able to further his knowledge on word problems so far. And then after I did complete this, I gave him an exit ticket saying, giving me 3 things that he learned that were important about the lesson, 2 things that he thought were interesting about the lesson, and then 1 thing that was challenging or that he had a question about the lesson. And from that, I'll be able to see what he needs more help on, what areas he's really struggling in or what he found interesting about the lesson. And maybe if it's something like these worksheets, I can go back and use those again in the future. So thank y'all.